Here's a secret seasoned gardeners know, a little nugget of wisdom passed down through generations of green thumbs. It's not just about the spring bloom or the summer abundance. There's more to the story, a hidden chapter in the gardening year. Summer isn't the end. It's a new beginning. It's not a time to hang up your gloves and admire your work from a hammock. No, summer is an invitation, a chance to double down and prepare for a second wave of growth and delicious harvests. Think of midsummer as a second spring, a time when the soil is warm, the days are long, and the potential for growth is still incredibly high. It's a chance to extend your growing season and enjoy fresh produce well into the cooler months, a hidden opportunity in the year's warmest days. While everyone else is focused on vacations and barbecues, you can be secretly planning and planting for a fall feast. The sun's intensity is still there, providing the energy needed for rapid growth. While others relax, the canny gardener plans ahead for autumn's bounty. They're not just dreaming of pumpkin spice lattes. They're actively mapping out their fall garden, selecting the right seeds, and preparing the soil for a second act of growth. Now is the time to sow seeds, to get those little powerhouses of potential nestled into the earth. Think of it as planting the seeds of future happiness, of delicious meals, and of a garden that defies the changing seasons, for a harvest that will last until the first frosts. Imagine the satisfaction of harvesting fresh greens, root vegetables, and herbs long after your neighbors have packed up their gardens for the year. This is your chance to extend the season and keep your connection to the soil alive. It's about more than just food. It's about nurturing your soul, staying active, and experiencing the joy of watching things grow even as the days get shorter. Summer sowing is an act of faith, a belief in the power of nature, in the resilience of seeds, and in your own ability to coax life from the earth, even when the odds seem stacked against you. Planting in heat for a cool weather reward. You're essentially tricking the seasons, using the summer's warmth to get a head start on crops that thrive in cooler temperatures. The sun's power is waning, but the rewards are immense. The flavors of fall vegetables are often richer and more intense, thanks to the cooler temperatures and shorter days. Imagine pulling sweet carrots in October, their vibrant orange a stark contrast to the fading colors of the landscape. The taste will be a testament to your foresight and dedication, or cutting crisp lettuce when store shelves are bare. You'll be enjoying fresh salads long after everyone else is stuck with wilted, overpriced greens from the supermarket. Many gardeners miss this window, leaving their garden beds empty and forlorn, a missed opportunity for continued growth and abundance. Thinking summer is for rest, not new beginnings, they see it as a time to take a break, to recharge after the spring rush. But the savvy gardener knows that rest and productivity can coexist. But this is your golden ticket to a four-season harvest, a chance to transform your garden into a year-round source of fresh, healthy food. So let's get to work. Let's embrace the second spring and create a garden that defies expectations. Grab your seeds, your tools, and your imagination. It's time to transform your garden into a fall paradise. The second spring is yours to claim. Embrace it, nurture it, and watch your garden flourish. Don't let it slip by unnoticed. This is your chance to extend your harvest and enjoy the fruits and vegetables of your labor well into the fall. Your autumn garden starts now. Let the second spring begin. Planting for autumn, unlike the spring rush, requires a different kind of patience and planning. It's about understanding the subtle shifts in daylight and temperature, and how these changes affect the growth of your chosen crops. Is a dance with time, a delicate waltz where every step must be perfectly timed to the rhythm of the season. It's not just about getting seeds in the ground, it's about anticipating the future conditions and ensuring your plants have the best possible chance to thrive. Sow too early, while the summer heat still lingers and crops may bolt in the heat, a survival mechanism where plants prematurely flower and set seed in response to stress. Lettuce turns bitter, its leaves becoming tough and unpalatable, a far cry from the crisp, refreshing salad you were hoping for. Carrots lose sweetness, their sugars converting to less desirable compounds, resulting in a bland or even bitter taste. Sow too late, as the days shorten and the sun's intensity fades, and growth slows almost to a standstill as plants struggle to gather enough energy for proper development. And then, frost may strike before harvest, nipping your precious crops in the bud, leaving you with a disappointing yield and a sense of missed opportunity. The key is understanding days to maturity, that crucial piece of information found on every seed packet. It tells you how long each crop needs, from the moment it sprouts, to reach its peak flavor and readiness for harvest. This knowledge is your most powerful tool. You want your plants to mature as the weather cools, when the days are still bright but the nights are crisp, creating the ideal conditions for flavor development. Not before, when the heat can compromise their quality, or after, when the frost threatens to end their life cycle prematurely. Cool air brings out the best flavors in, transforming ordinary vegetables into culinary delights. Carrots becoming sweeter and more vibrant in color, parsnips and brassicas like kale, cabbage, and broccoli, developing a richer, more complex taste after a touch of frost. Every day after the solstice, the longest day of the year, marks a turning point. Daylight wanes, the sun begins its slow retreat, casting longer shadows and signaling the shift towards autumn. Plants feel it, sensing the subtle changes in light and temperature, and so should you, becoming attuned to the natural rhythms of your garden. Your job is to work with this rhythm, to understand and anticipate the needs of your plants as the seasons change, not against it, fighting the natural flow of the seasons, but rather embracing the unique opportunities that autumn offers. Plant at the right time, aligning your efforts with the natural cycles of growth and decay, and you'll enjoy a rich, flavorful autumn harvest, a testament to your careful planning and understanding of nature's timing. Get it wrong, misjudge the timing, and sow your seeds at the wrong moment, and you risk disappointment, a sparse harvest, and a feeling of frustration. Timing is the difference between the deciding factor that separates success from failure in the autumn garden, a sparse patch yielding only a meager harvest, and a magnificent bounty overflowing with delicious homegrown vegetables. Plan carefully, consult your calendar, and pay close attention to the weather patterns in your area. And let nature do the rest, trusting in the inherent resilience and beauty of the natural world. The autumn garden rewards those who master its timing, offering a delicious and satisfying harvest as a reward for their patience and understanding. Forget fancy tools. The most powerful item for autumn gardening is your calendar. Mark your average first frost date. This is your finish line. Check your seed packets for days to maturity. Count backwards from your frost date to find your sowing date. For example, if your frost date is October 15th and your beetroot takes 60 days, sow around August 16th. This transforms guesswork into a confident plan. Keep a dedicated gardening calendar or notebook. Mark frost dates, sowing windows, and notes on what worked. Over time, this record becomes your most valuable resource. It's tailored to your garden, your climate, and your experience. Planning with a calendar removes anxiety and sets you up for success. Don't leave it to chance. Let your calendar guide you. The right date makes all the difference. Everything hinges on, arguably, the most important date in your gardening calendar. It's a date that dictates when you need to harvest your tender crops and when you need to start thinking about protecting your plants from the elements. Knowing your average first frost date. This date isn't set in stone, of course, but it gives you a crucial benchmark to work with. It's the approximate day when temperatures are expected to drop low enough for frost to form. This is the deadline for tender crops. These are the plants that can't withstand freezing temperatures, like tomatoes, peppers, and basil. They need to be harvested before the frost hits, or they'll be damaged or killed. Miss it, and your harvest could be lost. Imagine putting in all that work only to see your precious vegetables ruined by a sudden cold snap. It's a heartbreaking experience that every gardener wants to avoid. Find your date online using local climate data. There are many websites and resources that provide this information, often based on historical weather patterns in your specific area. Look for data from reputable sources like agricultural extension offices or weather services. Remember, it's an average. The frost date is not a guarantee, but rather a statistical probability. It's based on years of weather data, but the actual date of the first frost can vary significantly from year to year. Frost can come earlier or later. Mother Nature is unpredictable, and she doesn't always follow the averages. That's why it's crucial to build in a buffer and be prepared for anything. Build in a buffer. Don't rely solely on the average frost date. Give yourself some wiggle room to protect your plants in case of an early frost. Use a date 2 weeks before the average to be safe. This gives you a safety net in case the frost arrives earlier than expected. It's better to be safe than sorry when it comes to protecting your precious plants. If your average frost is October 15th, plan for October 1st. This means starting to monitor the weather closely around that time and having your frost protection measures ready to go. This safety net protects your crops from early cold snaps. Row covers, blankets, or even simple tarps can make a big difference in protecting your plants from frost damage. Observe your garden's microclimate. Some spots are warmer or colder than others. Areas near buildings or fences tend to be warmer, while low-lying areas are more prone to frost. Keep a diary of when frost actually arrives each year. Note the date, the temperature, and any other relevant observations. Over time, your own records will be your best guide. They'll provide a more accurate picture of your garden's specific frost patterns than any general climate data. Adjust your plans as you learn your garden's quirks. Maybe you'll find that your garden consistently experiences frost a week earlier than the average date. The more you observe, the better you'll time your autumn harvest. You'll know exactly when to harvest your tender crops and when to start protecting your more cold-hardy plants. Knowledge of frost dates is your autumn insurance. It's the key to a successful fall harvest and a thriving garden, even as the temperatures start to drop. The back of the seed packet is your roadmap. Days to maturity tells you how long from sowing to harvest. For autumn, add 10-14 days to account for slower growth as days shorten. Your formula: first frost date minus 2 weeks, then subtract days to maturity plus your autumn buffer. This gives you a reliable sowing date. Read every detail. Packets often suggest varieties suited for autumn or resistant to bolting. Some lettuces, for example, thrive in late summer sowings. The seed packet is your instruction manual. Use it. The right variety and timing make all the difference. Don't ignore the fine print. It's the key to success. Autumn gardens can be just as abundant as summer. Kale is a must. Hardy, beautiful, and sweeter after frost. Sow in July for harvest deep into winter. Root crops like carrots, beetroot, and turnips thrive when sown midsummer. Choose quick-maturing varieties for best results. Warm soil speeds germination. Cool autumn air sweetens the roots. Don't forget salads. Lettuce, mizuna, mustard greens, rocket, and spinach all do well now. Sown in late August, they'll keep you in fresh greens for weeks. Use a cloche or cold frame to extend the season. Radishes and spring onions are perfect for quick, late crops. Fill gaps with these fast growers for instant rewards. Mix and match for a patchwork of flavors and colors. The autumn garden is full of possibilities. Choose boldly. By midsummer, soil is tired and needs a boost. Clear out old crops and weeds completely. Water deeply a day or two before working the soil. Add a generous layer of well-rotted compost or quality peat-free compost. This replenishes nutrients and improves moisture retention. Gently fork compost into the top few inches. No need for deep digging. Rake to create a fine, level seed bed for good seed-to-soil contact. A smooth surface ensures successful germination. This little effort now pays off with strong, healthy autumn crops. Prepare well and your seeds will thank you. The foundation of a great harvest is great soil. Sowing is just the start. Care is key. Water consistently. Summer sun dries the topsoil fast. Keep seed beds moist, especially during heat waves. Protect seedlings from pests. Use netting, traps, or barriers. Thin seedlings to give survivors room to grow. As autumn nears, water less but keep weeding. Feed hungry crops like kale with a liquid feed for strength. Watch the forecast as frost approaches. Cover tender crops with fleece or sheets for extra protection. Hardy crops like kale and parsnips can handle the cold. Daily attention makes all the difference. The autumn patch rewards those who nurture it. As you harvest your autumn crops, pause to appreciate your achievement. Each carrot and beetroot is a reward for your planning and care. Start small, experiment, and share your experiences with others. Not every seed will thrive, but every season teaches you something new. Record your lessons, they'll guide you next year. There are no failures, only experiments and growth. Enjoy the process. Planning, sowing, nurturing, harvesting. The garden teaches patience and resilience. With a little planning, the garden's generosity extends far beyond summer. The second spring is waiting. Go claim it.